is no longer really an opportunity or choice, it's an imperative. To telling the story, how do we make sure that we're taking full advantage of any and all assets that are on the grid and at customer premises.
Welcome, everyone, to the EI360 podcast. My name is Sandi, and today I am joined with Jamie Tate. Jamie, how are you?
Doing great. How are you?
Good. I am very excited about this conversation we get to have today, and we get to share it with one of our very valuable partners, Joe Bernal, who will expand on that introduction here in a minute. But first, so today's topic, we're talking about Distributech. And Distributech is an annual conference that actually has strong roots in the transmission and distribution sector. And it originated, I think, first held in 1990. Its name was Demand Automations and Demand Side Management Conference. And I found that I did a little research because I was nerding out a little, but the conference has evolved to include, first of all, they rebranded to name it Distributech in the mid-90s, which I think fantastic, because that definitely includes a lot more vendors and opportunities. But it also evolved to include smart cities, electric vehicles, distributed energy resources, and it definitely reflects the changing landscape of the electric power industry. But enxchange has some roots at Distributech as well. So if you didn't know this, I know Jamie knows this, and I'm pretty sure our guest knows this as well, but maybe our audience will be enlightened today to know that our CEO, David Swank, was honored in 1998 as a recipient of Innovator of the Year Award at Distributech for his contributions to the industry. And he was honored with the Utility Automation Innovation Project of the Year. So for that, and I'll say that project, even in 1998, David was very much focused on interoperability and advanced rate designs. So some things never change, right, Jamie?
Yep. Yeah, it's interesting. David always makes the comment of the platform being in development for the last 10 to 12 years, but the idea itself has been around. He's kind of had this innovative thought process as to what he wants to see and from a technology perspective of how the market is going to continually change really throughout his professional career. So yeah, it's awesome to see that it's really starting to come to fruition now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, a visionary then, but truly a visionary now. I mean, he's still ahead. He's still way ahead. And we're really lucky to be working with him. But also someone else that we're very lucky to work with is our guest. So we get to welcome today our Activu partner, Joe Bernal. And so Activu, it offers visualization, collaboration solutions for control rooms, and they have a history dating back to 1983. So I'm going to go ahead and bring Joe on. Good morning, Joe.
Joe.
Hello.
Welcome. Okay, Jamie, I'm going to turn this over to you because you have lots of fun things to share about Distributech, and Joe as well. And so I'm going to just let you take it from there.
No, that's awesome. Perfection. So I personally am really excited about attending Distributech here in the next week for a couple different reasons. One, I'm going to be a first-time attendee, and I plan to really just kind of soak in as much as possible. In my 3 years at enxchange, I've had the awesome opportunity of really being well-traveled, getting the opportunity to go to multiple conferences, but I've heard from every single year, you got to go to Distributech. You got to go to Distributech. It's different and unlike anything you've seen before. I've always asked why. And they said, well, one, the size. It's huge. Next would be the people and also the technology and the innovation that is on display throughout the entirety of the conference. The whole idea, vision of generation transmission to distribution and how technology and the immersiveness of digitization and digitalization can change the landscape of what that industry can look like. I'm very excited to see maybe what I may be even more excited about is what enxchange is going to be bringing to the table. Yes, there's incredible innovation going to be all around, but people, I am so pumped to showcase with you just a little bit of a snippet and a little bit of a preview of what enxchange is going to be able to provide at the Distributech conference ourselves. I was just doing a little bit of research preparing for this morning, and I saw on the Distributech site that the 3 trending topics for the Distributech International 2024 are distributed energy resources, smart cities, and EV management. One would think that they've been listening to our podcast, watching our LinkedIn post, or just stealing some stuff off our website, because that's truly what our bread and butter has been since the development of the platform. Being able to take whatever those types of complex solutions are, structuring them in a way to be a little more easily digestible into functions and modules, to really not only drive insight, but to really kind of help organizations more easily tackle kind of how the market is changing. And one of the things I'm excited about for 2024 is kind of how our model works. And how we're kind of pushing it into the market this year. And you guys may have heard us talk about our case model. So being able to connect, accelerate, scale, and empower, connecting to data, connecting to assets, accelerating and engineering that digital twin, linking those physical assets to the digital world. Being able to scale by the addition of intelligent devices out in the field, or integrating additional software systems to enhance that data set. And then lastly, being able to empower, truly doing what our bread and butter is, modulating and eventually monetizing energy on both sides of the meter, what David likes to call Uberizing those assets. But our goal is to help a client really go throughout the entirety of that energy journey, whether it be from helping to build an energy plan, help to understand where distributed energy is. How can that actually help not only harden, but also create a more efficient system for my grid, all the way to maybe it's bringing in some additional IoT. But the end goal would be being able to visualize and bring about insight. And what we have always thought is one of the most crucial parts of a cooperative system, which is in that command center, which Joe with Activu and their software has been an incredible asset for us. Our goal at enxchange is to help get the right data in front of the right people at the right time to bring about the right decisions in critical situations. And the reason we can do this is because of our wonderful partnerships that we have. And joining us today would be one of those, Activu. Activu has been a trusted partner for NX for multiple years. If I'm not mistaken, Joe, I believe we came an Activu client 5 to 6 years ago. I believe maybe a little bit more. Utilizing it for a command center application for us, as you can see right behind me in our office in Stillwater, as well as in our digital operations center down in McKinney. Being able to showcase individualized data sets, bringing about that storyboard of data. How can we actually tell a story with the data that we're collecting? But over the course of that time, we've had that migration of not only just being a client, but moving towards not only a trusted business partnership, but a wonderful friendship with the staff at Activu. I joke, I've worked closely with the Activu team for my full 3 years at enxchange, and I always joke that I could show up to the Activu Christmas party and no one would bat an eye, because it's been so much fun. But not only has it been an awesome opportunity to start hitting the market with you guys over the course of the last year, being able to collaborate, be in meetings together, but also at Distributech NRECA shortly afterwards, sharing this booth space to truly show the world what our collaborative efforts can do. So that to me is very exciting. And so, Joe, I want to pass it off to you to kind of give a little bit of your insight. I know you're a little bit more seasoned in the Distributech world
Right.
than I am, but also kind of how do you feel just through not only our integration with NX visibility, being able to take all of these analytics that we create within our system, embedding truly that visibility software into our platform to show and showcase to an organization to push out information. But how do you feel that this partnership is helping kind of meet the needs of what some of the industry changes are?
Sure. And thanks, Jamie, and appreciate y'all having me here. So thank you. And yeah, I'll touch on that, the integration that we have with enxchange and the partnership that we have, but also my experience there at Distributech. As you mentioned, I guess I would be seasoned. This is my my 10th Distributech, but I'll touch on that. But yeah, initially what I'll start off with is that integration that we have that was developed over the past 5 or 6 years, right? So enxchange was first an Activu client with the digital operations center that we helped build out that control room that you have there in both in McKinney and in Stillwater. And then as I started talking with David Swank, the CEO of enxchange, and your team and everyone else, started realizing that we're not only fellow travelers here, we have a very similar narrative, and the value proposition of both Activu and enxchange is very similar. So separating signal from noise, a system of systems, creating an operating picture that can be actionable in real time. So taking those data sets, Activu is only on the visual layer. Of course, that's where enxchange, brings in all these analytics, all these different data points that allow you, the client, and enxchange to make decisions in real time. Activu is just really the final mile of that, if you will. So creating those dashboards so that all that information that you have is available in a story type fashion. So whether it's for the enxchange staff that's helping your clients, or if it's for those clients that are creating those storyboards themselves. So the value of Activu as a company and our product being visibility, that's where we started talking about, well, how do we maybe integrate our solutions? Because the value that you bring is very similar to ours and very complementary. So we developed NX Visibility. So that is Activu's product visibility, our software completely integrated seamlessly with enxchange, and again, allowing for that real-time decision-making with a common operating picture, if you will, for all those involved. And then going into my experience at Distributech, yeah, so it is my 10th year. I shared with Sandi and Jamie, shared with you all earlier, my very first Distributech was day one for me at Activu, going back, I guess that was 2014. And
heck of a first day.
It was my first day. Yeah, first day. I come from the energy industry, and that's why I was brought on to Activu 10 years ago, is to expand our presence in the energy industry. But my background is in energy trading and risk management. So you think about when it comes to the energy industry, specifically to utilities, that the trading floor has nothing to do, for legal purposes and otherwise, other reasons as well. They don't interact with operations, right? So coming into this world of the operations side of the energy business, and walking into Distributech for the first time was quite eye-opening. It's a showcase of these cutting-edge technologies, all these technologies that power our households and our businesses, and this wealth of education and the information that's being provided there, and all the different industry leaders that are helping to move this industry forward. Everybody's there. All the big players are there, both from the utility aspect of it, but also the providers of solutions like ourselves. So it was that day one was a bit overwhelming, but now in my 10th year, I do have a bit more comfort level going into Distributech and speaking towards the value that we do bring to these, not only the utilities. You have from the utility perspective, you have all of your there's federal agencies, your RTOs, your investor-owned utilities, your municipals, some of your co-ops, your G&T co-ops, all the industry players are there. I think the addressable market in the utility space is somewhere around 1,600 players. But then I also think about, it's not only the utilities that are in attendance that are gaining value from this, but some of our other types of clients for enxchange and Activu visibility. I think about the large consumers of power. So all of them, they want to stay aware of the, what's moving the industry forward, what can help benefit them as far as their operations. And like you said, you mentioned, some of the key topics for Distributech this year. And I would say last year too, and probably going forward, DERM, distributed energy resource management, and renewable energy, smart cities, all of that is top of mind, and that's all front and center at Distributech. So it's an exciting event. I think they describe it as the premier annual event for transmission and distribution. I tend to agree. It really is. So excited to be there, and excited to be there with enxchange. We will have a very prominent presence there at Distributech this year, as you all know, with your mobile microgrid, and then we'll also have, of course, Activu visibility software for folks to be able to receive demos and of both enxchange, enx visibility, and visibility. And then when it comes to the control room environment, there'll be basically a control room there on the not trading floor, on the on the floor area exhibits. I believe the display technology we'll have there, the largest display that'll be there will be a 25-foot wide 0.9 millimeter pixel pitch direct view LED from our folks, our close partners also at Planar.
That's awesome.
So yeah, so it'll be nice. It'll be nice to visit with people and share what we've been doing over the course of the last year, and talk about the industry trends and the needs of our various prospective clients and existing clients, and just those in the industry.
Yeah, one of the things that I'm most excited about with both our booth that we have at Distributech as well as the following week at NRECA is it'll be a booth kind of like unlike many others, to where it's fully interactive. We can pull up information on the Activu screens. We can move and shake the individual assets of the microgrid trailer and see all that change in real time. As you know, Joe, we've got our own small version of a command center inside the trailer that's going to showcase all of that real time data coming from our microgrid trailer, but we could push it out onto that 25-foot planar wall in an instant to showcase how quickly in these critical events, how fast we can move data back and forth. That's one of the things I'm most excited about. Is our booth? Yes, it's gonna have some really awesome, pretty shiny objects, but it's all real, and it's all going to be something that you guys as attendees to Distributech will be able to walk in, move and shake things around, and then be able to see what's actually happening, what those changes you are making are happening in real time. So a booth unlike any other. I know people probably say that all the time, but hey, I'll die on that sword if I have to. But
I'm glad you mentioned that, because I think I missed on that earlier when I was talking about the value proposition of enxchange and enx visibility. Being able to share that information, not just like with the use case for enxchange, for example, you're able to not only view the content within your digital operations center, but push that content to other destinations, right? Regardless of where they are, because it's networked, and able to share that operating picture wherever it may need to be. So on the utility side, sharing your valuable information from enxchange to any destination, regardless of that location. So from a primary control room to a backup control room, or maybe a emergency operations center or wildfire mitigation, whatever the case might be, that information in a storyboard format is immediately available at yours and our clients' fingertips. So that's a good point that you made, and I'm glad that you mentioned that, because I did miss on that part of our value proposition, which is very key.
Absolutely. The importance of data is great, but data access is even more important. So, Joe, I appreciate you being on here. I'm excited for you to be able to show me the ropes as a Distributech rookie, and it's also not going to be too terrible to have to spend the week in Orlando, Florida. So excited to get to be down there with you. Yeah, again, thank you for your insight. Again, thank you for the wonderful partnership that Activu provides in exchange, the wonderful solution that comes with NX visibility. It does, it puts, kind of wraps a bow on everything that enxchange does, and allows that true transformation of data for like we said, data access, being able to the sharing of knowledge across an organization truly is a game changer for us. So
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. It's always a pleasure. Good to see you all. I'll see you here in a week or so at Orlando at Distributech.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you both. Safe travels to both of you whenever you do get to Orlando. So the Distributech conference is in Orlando, Florida this year at the convention center, and our booth, so Activu and enxchange will be sharing space, as you heard, and our booth number is 1425. Please go see Jamie and go see Joe. They are ready and able to show you how your organization can benefit from these solutions. Safe travels to both of you. Oh, I should probably say it's February 27th through the 29th. That's a key detail. So that way you show up on the right day. If you want to register, I know that there's still plenty of time to register to attend the conference. So please do so and come and visit us. And thank you both so much for joining us today. And we will see you next time.
Perfect.
Thank you. Talk to y'all later.
Thanks.
See ya.